Back in 1977, when I first participated in this, I told a parable about the infiltration of the Hamantaschen into the land of the Latkes. And it just so happened that it was that year that Kinneret packaged potato latkes, and if you look very carefully at these potato latkes, back in 1977, we didn't have such fancy things as PowerPoint. We were lucky if we could put slides up on the slide projector. In 1990, things were a little bit better. And then, among other things, I introduced this book, a classic in the business school, written by Adam Smith. You may not recognize it. And I tried to explain that Adam Smith was really a nice Jewish boy. He actually a yeshiva bacher, who originally entitled this book The Gelt of Nations. But his publisher decided that that wouldn't sell, and so he changed the title. Today, to show that I am up with the times, I am going to give a PowerPoint presentation. Are we ready? The title of my talk tonight is the Latke, the Hamantash, and the .com. Whenever I tell someone that I'm a business school professor, I'm immediately asked questions about the stock market. Usually the question is quite direct. Okay, Mr. Fancy Schmancy Business School Professor, do you have any tips for the stock market? And in the past few years, the questions are more pointed. Namely, what caused the .com crash? Well, in this talk, you're going to get the answers. I shall present to you the results of my extensive research on the latter question, the cause of the .com crash, and based on this research, leave you with a number of surefire tips for playing the stock market. My first insight into the .com crash came when I observed how people were playing the stock market. In particular, the sales of stock market charting tools off the internet were really zooming. And I came to the conclusion that it was the chartist who led everyone down the path that led to the .com crash. How was this done? First, I'm going to have to introduce you to the tools of the chartist. The chartist studies plots of stock market activity and looks for patterns. The simplest of these patterns is what's called head and shoulders, not to be confused by the shampoo of the same name. And here's a picture of such a pattern. And I don't expect you to look at this. This chart tells you what a head and shoulders pattern looks like. There's a definition that only people in the front row can read. And along with this, there is a chartist trading rule for how to trade. That says trading head and shoulders. Chartists also look for inverted head and shoulders and come up with rules for how to trade based on that pattern. They even invent such patterns as flags and pennants. This is actually a picture of Telstra Corporation Limited, which some chartist has superimposed on it a flag and a pennant. After studying what the chartists are looking for, I came to the conclusion that the fundamental building block for all of the chartist patterns is the Hamantash. See, for example, the head and shoulders pattern. And let's look at the flag and pennant. The pennant is obvious. but to a keen researcher like me, it is clear that the flag is predicated on the And from this analysis, I learned lesson 1. The stock market chartist has a Hamantash mentality. This can be seen even more clearly when we look at a plot of the Dow Jones Industrial Average both before and after the dot-com crash. And there it is. Using this insight, it is easy to see why the crash happened. It is totally made up of a series of Hamantashes. Indeed, using this insight, it is easy to see why the biggest crash of all, Enron, occurred